Hello, my friends. Heart disease is often called the silent threat. It doesn't knock loudly on the door. It builds quietly, day after day, shaped by the choices we make at the table. Think about the small things. A slice of ham tucked into your sandwich, a plate of fries at lunch, a cold soda in the afternoon, or a few slices of pepperoni pizza at night. Each of these moments feels harmless, but over time, they stack up. They put pressure on your heart, raising your blood pressure, your cholesterol, and eventually your risk of serious problems. That's why today, I want to walk with you through 5 common foods that many of us enjoy regularly, but which can quietly damage the heart if we're not careful. And as we go, I'll share gentle, practical ways to adjust without giving up the joy of eating. Let's begin. Food number 1, red and processed meats. The first one is red and processed meats. Bacon, sausages, ham, salami. For many families, these are everyday favorites. A fried egg with bacon in the morning. A sandwich layered with salami or ham at lunch. Maybe a grilled steak on the weekend. They're tasty. They give comfort. But here's the challenge. These meats are packed with saturated fat, salt, and preservatives. When we eat them often, the saturated fats raise bad cholesterol, which sticks to the walls of blood vessels like grease in a pipe. Slowly, the passage narrows. The heart has to push harder and harder just to keep the blood flowing. The salt and preservatives add to the burden by raising blood pressure, making the heart work overtime. There was a large study that followed thousands of adults over many years. Those who ate a lot of processed meats had a significantly higher risk of heart problems compared to those who ate less. The difference wasn't small, it was dramatic. Now, does this mean you should never eat bacon again? No. Life is also about enjoyment. But the key is balance. Instead of having processed meat every day, keep it as an occasional treat. Try replacing some of those meals with leaner choices. Grilled chicken without the skin. Fresh fish like salmon or trout. Or plant proteins such as beans and lentils. I once met a gentleman in his 60s who loved his morning bacon. He had it almost every day. But after his cholesterol levels rose, his doctor advised him to cut back. He didn't quit completely. Instead, he swapped his daily bacon for smoked salmon twice a week, and eggs with vegetables on other days. 6 months later, not only had his cholesterol improved, but he also said he felt lighter and more energetic. That's the power of small, steady changes. Food number 2, fried foods. Now let's talk about fried foods. Crispy golden fries. Fried chicken with that crunchy coating. Onion rings, donuts, or even tempura at a restaurant. They smell amazing. They taste addictive. And honestly, they bring a kind of comfort that few foods can match. But here's the truth. Deep frying turns food into a heart's nightmare. Why? Because when you drop food into hot oil, it soaks up that fat like a sponge. Most of the time, the oils used in restaurants or fast food chains are not the healthiest. They're often cheap, reused, and filled with trans fats. Trans fats are particularly dangerous. They not only raise bad cholesterol, but also lower the good kind, the one that protects your heart. Imagine your arteries as clean water pipes. Trans fats are like glue and sand mixed together, sticking inside and making the passage rough and narrow. Blood struggles to pass through, and the risk of blockages goes way up. And then there's the calorie problem. A small portion of fries can carry as many calories as an entire healthy meal. But because it's fast, salty, and satisfying, people eat it often without realizing the long-term cost. Of course, no one says you can't ever enjoy fried foods again, but if they are a daily habit, your heart pays the price. A better approach is to shift towards baking, grilling, or air frying. These methods keep the taste and texture, but without drowning the food in oil. I remember one woman who used to eat fried chicken at least 3 times a week. She said it was her guilty pleasure after work. But after her doctor explained how much stress it was putting on her arteries, she tried switching to oven-baked chicken with herbs and olive oil. At first, she missed the crunch. But after a few weeks, she realized she didn't crave fried food as much anymore, and her energy levels improved. Sometimes it's not about cutting something out overnight, but slowly changing your taste buds, one meal at a time. Food number 3, sugary foods and drinks. Next, let's turn to sugar, the sweet friend that can secretly betray us. Cakes, cookies, pastries, candy bars, sodas, energy drinks, they are everywhere. And they're not just treats anymore. For many people, they've become daily habits. A soft drink at lunch, a chocolate bar as a quick snack, a slice of cake after dinner. Sugar gives a quick burst of pleasure, but inside the body, it creates chaos. Here's why. When we consume too much sugar, blood sugar levels spike. The body releases insulin to handle it. But over time, this constant roller coaster contributes to weight gain, diabetes, and, yes, heart disease. Excess sugar also turns into fat in the liver, raising triglycerides, another silent risk factor for heart problems. Studies show that people who drink a lot of sugary beverages have a much higher risk of heart attacks, even if they're not overweight. And don't forget the hidden sugars. It's not just desserts. Many healthy-looking foods, flavored yogurts, breakfast cereals, sauces, even some breads, carry large amounts of added sugar. You might think you're eating well, but your body is quietly overloaded with sweetness. I once spoke with a middle-aged man who loved soda. He drank 2 or 3 cans a day. He said it helped him stay awake at work. When his doctor suggested cutting back, he was skeptical. How can one soda hurt? But after replacing soda with sparkling water and fruit slices, his weight dropped. His blood pressure improved, and he felt less tired. He later admitted, "I didn't realize how much sugar controlled me until I stopped." This doesn't mean you can't enjoy dessert, but instead of daily indulgence, keep it occasional. If you crave something sweet, try fresh fruits. Berries, apples, oranges, which come with vitamins and fiber. They satisfy the sweet tooth while actually helping the heart. The truth is simple. Sugar makes life sweet in the moment, but bitter for the heart in the long run. Food number 4, fast food. Let's move on to fast food. Burgers, pizzas, hot dogs, fried chicken, kebabs. For many people, these are not just occasional treats, but weekly, even daily meals. They're quick, convenient, and often cheap. When you're tired after work or rushing between errands, it feels so easy to just grab something from the nearest fast food chain. But here's the problem. Fast food combines almost all the risks we've already talked about. It's usually fried, packed with processed meat, loaded with cheese, drenched in sauces, and topped with extra salt. In one meal, you can consume more calories, more sodium, and more unhealthy fat than your body needs for an entire day. Think of a classic cheeseburger meal: the burger, the fries, the soda. It tastes great, but inside your body it sets off a storm. Your blood sugar spikes from the soda. Your cholesterol climbs from the meat and cheese. Your blood pressure rises from the salt. And the excess calories start turning into fat. If it's just once in a while, your body can recover. But if it's a routine, your heart pays the price. What makes fast food even trickier is its addictive nature. The combination of fat, salt, and sugar is designed to keep you coming back. That's why one slice of pizza easily turns into 3, or why a small order of fries never feels enough. I remember a man in his 50s who came to me after a mild heart attack. He admitted he'd been eating fast food 4 or 5 times a week for years. He said, "It was cheap, it was quick, and I thought I was fine." But his arteries told a different story. After the scare, he began cooking simple meals at home: grilled chicken, vegetables, whole grain pasta. Within a year, he lost weight, lowered his cholesterol, and felt younger. He told me later, "I didn't realize how much I was hurting myself until I stopped. Fast food may feel convenient, but nothing is more inconvenient than spending days in a hospital bed because of a weak heart." Food number 5, salt and salty foods. Finally, let's talk about salt. Salt is tricky because it doesn't look dangerous. A pinch here, a sprinkle there. It feels harmless. In fact, our bodies do need some salt to function. But the truth is, most people consume far more than they should. The problem is not just the salt we add at the table, but the hidden salt in processed foods. Canned soups, sauces, breads, chips, crackers, instant noodles, even salad dressings. One sandwich or ready-made meal can carry half or even all of your daily sodium limit without you realizing it. When there's too much sodium in the blood, the body holds on to water. This increases blood volume, which makes the heart work harder, pushing blood through the vessels. Over time, the constant pressure stiffens arteries and raises the risk of stroke and heart failure. High blood pressure is often called the silent killer, because most people don't feel any symptoms until it's too late. Many patients are shocked when they're diagnosed. They say, "But I felt fine." That's why salt is so dangerous. It hides in our food, and its damage builds quietly. I once met a woman in her 70s who had always loved salty snacks. Every evening she'd enjoy crackers, cheese, or pickles while watching TV. She thought it was just a small pleasure. But over time, her blood pressure climbed higher and higher until one day she suffered a stroke. She survived, but it changed her life forever. Later, she told me, "I wish I had known how much harm that extra salt was doing." The good news is, taste buds can adapt. If you start reducing salt gradually, using herbs, spices, lemon juice, or olive oil for flavor, you'll find that food still tastes delicious. After a few weeks, heavily salted foods will actually taste unpleasant. It's a small change that gives your heart a huge gift. My friends, we've walked together through 5 groups of foods that, while tasty and familiar, can quietly place a heavy burden on the heart. Red and processed meats, fried foods, sugary snacks and drinks, fast food, and excess salt. Each of them has a story. Each of them feels comforting in the moment. But when they become daily habits, they slowly wear down the most important muscle in your body. The heart doesn't complain loudly at first. It just keeps working, day and night, beating more than 100,000 times every single day. But when the pressure builds, too much fat, too much sugar, too much salt, eventually the heart begins to struggle. And by the time symptoms show, often the damage is already advanced. That's why the small choices matter so much. Choosing grilled fish instead of fried chicken. Drinking water instead of soda. Adding herbs instead of extra salt. Cooking simple meals at home instead of relying on fast food. These aren't dramatic sacrifices. They're gentle shifts made step by step. And over time, they build a lifestyle that protects the heart, lowers the risk of disease, and gives you more energy to enjoy life. I have seen people in their 50s and 60s make these changes and turn their health around. I've seen cholesterol drop, blood pressure normalize, and energy return. The body is remarkably forgiving when we give it the right care. It's never too late to start. So the next time you sit down to a meal, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, is this food helping my heart or hurting it? Your heart has been with you since the very first day of your life. It deserves care, respect, and love. Protect it, and it will carry you faithfully for many years to come. If you found today's talk helpful, I invite you to click like and subscribe to stay connected with more heart health tips. And I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 5 foods is the hardest for you to cut back on? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'll be reading them. Together, let's take small steps toward stronger hearts and longer, healthier lives. Thank you for spending this time with me. Take care of your heart and take care of yourself.